So I wanted to make this video talking about the next 3D Mario game because I'm pretty sure that's probably something on a lot of people's minds when it comes to, okay, when's the next 3D Mario adventure? And yes, I know we've gotten a lot of games ever since then when it comes to all these other Mario games, but I'm basically talking about like a game on the level as like Super Mario Odyssey. And that game came out, I would have to say, in 2017. So it's been quite some time since we've ever gotten a game like that. And normally, like whenever Nintendo puts out a new console, because the Switch 2 came out last year, normally around the time when they put out that new console, a new Mario game usually comes out around that time to really start pushing the console. But obviously we had Donkey Kong Bonanza last year to really push the console to the next level, and it definitely did. It did a great job. Great game, by the way. I definitely recommend to play it. But I basically just want to give my thoughts on the matter when it comes to like where Mario is headed and how I'm structuring things in my head when it comes to this overall conversation that I want to have with you guys. So if you guys have any thoughts of your own when it comes to how you guys feel about it, or if you want to talk about a certain thing with me in the comments, let me know. And let's get into some Mario discussion when it comes to the third game. Not third game, I should say the next 3D big adventure. So when it comes to the next 3D Mario game, I feel like this is something that's been on a lot of people's minds for a while now, because if you really sit down and think about it, it's been a long time since we've gotten something on the level of Super Mario Odyssey. And that's kind of crazy to think about when you really sit down with it, because that game dropped back in 2017, and here we are in 2026, still waiting to see what comes next. And it's not like there hasn't been any Mario games since then, because there has been, but when you're talking about that big, full 3D Mario experience, the kind of game that really feels like a major step forward for the series, Odyssey was the last time we got something like that. And that's why people keep going back to it whenever this conversation comes up, because it still feels like the most recent example of what Mario could really be like at his best. Like, even for me, I still go back to my Nintendo Switch and play a bunch of different games on there, and I enjoy it a lot, but at the same time, that question is always in the back of my mind, like, all right, when are we going to get that next big Mario game? Because it feels like we're long overdue for that next major adventure. And the crazy part about all of this is that we're getting closer and closer to it being almost 10 years since Odyssey came out, which is something I don't think a lot of people expected, especially for a series as big as Mario. So that alone just makes the wait feel even longer than it already does. And when I start thinking about why we haven't seen the next 3D Mario yet, one thing that comes to mind is the fact that this year is Mario's 40th anniversary, and that's a big deal because Nintendo doesn't just let something like that pass by without doing something to it. Like, we already saw them do something major with the Super Mario Galaxy movie that released this year. That alone shows you that they're definitely paying attention to this milestone, and they want to celebrate it in a big way, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the main things that they were focusing on at first. And that was a great movie, and it's doing a great job in the box office. And that's really the reason why I even bring the movie up. Not because I want to focus on it, but because it shows that Nintendo is clearly in that mode of pushing Mario again, putting him front and center and reminding everyone just how big the series is. So when you look at it like that, it starts to feel like the next 3D Mario game is part of that same bigger picture. Like, everything is lining up for something major to happen, and they're just waiting for the right moment to finally show it. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised at all if this anniversary year ends up being the setup for what's coming next. Even if we don't get the full game right away, it still feels like this is the year where things start to move. Now, when it comes to when we might actually see the next 3D Mario game, this is where things get a little tricky, because there are rumors out there saying that it might not even come out this year, and instead it could drop sometime in 2027. And honestly, I can see that going either way, because on one hand, it would make sense to release it next year, line up with that whole idea of it nearly being 10 years since Odyssey, because that's a strong way to market the game and make it feel like a huge moment. But at the same time, I also feel like this is the kind of game that Nintendo would want to at least show off this year, because you're trying to build hype for something that big. You don't just keep it hidden forever. You give people something to look forward to. And that's where events like a Nintendo Direct come into play, because we usually get one around June before the summer starts, and then another one later in the year. So either one of those feels like the perfect place to finally reveal what they've been working on. At the end of the day, I don't really see a solution where we go through this entire year without hearing anything at all, because it just feels like the right time for them to finally say something, even if it's just a teaser. But with all of that being said, I do feel like the wait is going to be worth it, because when you look at how Nintendo handles Mario, they don't just rush those kind of games out. They take their time and make sure everything is exactly how they want it. And with the next 3D Mario game being on the Nintendo Switch 2, that just gives them even more of a reason to go all out and really push things as far as they can. Like, I'm talking about a game that doesn't feel just like another Mario title, but something that really shows what the new system can do, same way Odyssey felt like a major step forward when it first dropped with the original Nintendo Switch. So that's really where my mindset is with all of this, because yeah, the wait has been long, and yeah, we've been asking for this game for years now, but if it ends up being something that truly feels like the next evolution of 3D Mario, then it's going to make all of that waiting feel worth it in the end. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about here. I wanted to talk about exactly where things might be heading when it comes to the next 3D adventure for Mario. Because yeah, I know we had like Bowser's Fury and things like that, which I actually just got done playing that game a few months ago, and it was super fun, by the way. Highly recommend it if anybody hasn't played it. And that definitely took like Mario in a good direction when it came to what they did with that game and everything. But I'm mainly talking about like, you know, something else, like something at the level of Super Mario Odyssey when it comes to what they can do next. That's something I'm really excited to get into, and I'm just very curious to see exactly like when we're going to start seeing all that kind of stuff. That's why I mentioned, yeah, you know, we're probably going to get a Nintendo Direct in June, like a full-on Direct, a pretty long one, maybe like 30 to 40 minutes long, talking about everything that's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and maybe some things that are going to be on the Nintendo Switch, but mainly just focusing on like the Nintendo Switch 2, you know, talking about certain games that are going to be coming. That could definitely be one of those things that they show off towards the end of the the Direct, where they give us like a little teaser of like, okay, you know, before you go, check this out. And then you see like the next 3D Mario game. And then they give us like more and more updates on it throughout the year. Let's say, for example, you know, we get something on it during the fall Direct, whenever that happens in September. And then maybe at the Game Awards this year, we get another little look at it and everything. I definitely feel like we will, at the very least, if it doesn't come out this year, we will definitely get some sort of focus on it when it comes to like teasing it and just giving us a good idea of what it's about. But that's all I have to say for this video. So if you guys have anything you want to say about the next 3D Mario game when it comes to things you want to see, or just anything in general, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have your own thoughts on this when it comes to this sort of topic that we're talking about in today's video, let me know in the comments. We could talk about it, of course, like we always do. And if you guys enjoy this video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you guys want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All the links are located in the description below, so be sure to follow me on there. Also, if you guys want to check out my Discord service, we can talk more about all of our favorite things that I really want to start growing the community more and more. Be sure to check out my Discord server. It is listed in the description. It's also pinned in the comments below for easier access. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I'm dropping a new video on the channel. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.